Okay, welcome everybody. It's on behalf of Mickey, it's good to see a number of people in transit down to Eden. Looks like some people have already arrived. I know we've seen pictures of cars packed, people en route, materials ready, so it's great. Look, this afternoon or this evening's call's purpose is a safety briefing ahead of Friday with any last minute updates for you. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands upon which we meet, the respective lands upon which we meet, and particularly the Yuin people of the South Coast area where we'll be spending some time over the next few days. Pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging and recognise their ongoing connections to those lands. Would perhaps just starting off, I'd like to apologise. I know some people had some trouble with Google Calendar timeline changes today. There was some a little bit of confusion around the actual start time for this evening. We apologise if there's any issues or challenges around that for anybody. And if there's any separate activities, please feel free to contact us, place the call, and we'll answer any questions that arise from it. We're really looking forward to Friday. We've been on the route today. Vicky and I'm not sure if you can tell. We've probably looked like we've had a bit of sun. We've spent a lot of time up at the summit today, and I know Mickey will update us on that shortly. In kicking us off, if I could ask Joel Pippard, can you just give us one or two sentences on the weather outlook? Joel.
No, you're not getting one this time.
Yeah, everyone. I'm Joel Pippard. So I'm a friend of family friend of Greg. So I'm joining today, and I'm also a meteorologist. This is my full-time job. So just giving a run through of the weather, we're pretty lucky this year. We've got a great big high pressure system that's sitting overhead. So generally we're going to be seeing clear skies, light winds, which is good to see. Running through, we've just got about a 30% chance of a shower early on Friday morning. But after that, it should be mostly sunny on the Friday, and Saturday is looking really good as well. So temperatures will range around 25 degrees near the coast, and it will track to around 15-degree maximums up on the mountains. The nights will get a little bit chilly, but probably not too bad, around 7 degrees. And there might be a little bit of morning fog on the Sunday and Saturday mornings. But that's really it for the weather. We're pretty lucky this year.
Thank you, Joel. Really appreciate that update.
It's spoken like a true weatherman.
And look, it did look great when we're up the summit today. Some clouds rolled in late, but we've had a lot of weather challenges the last couple of years. And while fingers crossed that we have what we call good running weather, we understand we can't control nature. And also that's part of the joy of trail running. You're not sometimes never quite sure what you're going to get with that. I'd also just like to ask Hannah Damchevsky, just if you could just introduce yourself very briefly, Hannah, and just 1 to 2 lines from you over the next couple of days.
Okay. Hey everyone. So I'm Hannah. I've been volunteering as an event official for Coast to Kosci since 2020. I'm actually Greg's daughter, but I typically run the social media side of things. However, for my full-time job, I'm also a registered psychologist. So this year I've been working with Greg and Mickey to be able to utilize those skills and offer them up in a voluntary capacity. So as much as we normally have physical health first aid responders on the course, I'll be able to effectively provide mental health first aid where it's needed. So while it's unlikely that this will be needed, and we anticipate that runners and crew will be able to manage their own needs there, I think it's really important, like there's, growing awareness and support for mental health conditions generally. And so Coast to Kosci on the whole feels that it's going to be really beneficial to offer this. So basically in the same way that runners and support crew should be monitoring physical well-being, we'd expect that you'd be monitoring your own mental well-being, so your own mental health. And as much as there's a lot of ups and downs throughout Coast to Kosci, and we would expect there to be some serious challenges, both physically and mentally, you'd be looking for things that are more extreme fluctuations in moods and behaviours. So things that are sort of outside your normal that you would expect in an ultra event. And that's when, you can get in contact with me if you feel like you need that extra support. So don't feel alarmed. Seeing me around on the course or checking in with me doesn't mean that you're going to be pulled from the race or anything like that. It's just a way of adding that extra layer of support for all of you. So I'll be roving the field as part of the social media team, and I'll be stationed on a few checkpoints as well. But I'll be contactable via mobile, and I'll be in that WhatsApp group that all the crew chiefs communicate in. But I'm looking forward to meeting you all and seeing some of you again at tomorrow's Rego.
Fantastic. Thanks, Hannah. Really appreciate that. As I said earlier, we spent a lot of time at the summit today and on sections of the course. And with that, I'll probably ask Mickey to give an update.
Cool, thanks, Greg. So after 1.5 years of not being able to provide like a summit finish, and given like the conditions down there just now, we want to make sure that we actually do all we can to like ensure like a summit finish actually happens. So we met up with the actual ranger this morning, and we got the lowdown of it. And then we actually went up to the summit itself, climbed the mountain today, and we got first-hand kind of information around it. What we'll do is we'll post some photos later on of it, but it looked like a really sunny day. The path a little bit is covered in snow. So there's an area that's about 6.5 kilometres up the track. It's called Seaman's Hut. And just prior to that, there is a 300-metre snowdrift. The guys were out with the excavators today, and I anticipate probably within like tomorrow and Friday, if they're working, then that route will be cleared. Otherwise, it's just a mush through the snow, and you'll hopefully get there. A little bit more concerning is just the track from Rawson Pass, which is roughly 7.6 kilometres up the actual summit trail, up to the summit. And there's 4 different sections where the actual trail is covered in snow. The first section is about 100 metres. The second section is about another 100 metres. The third section is about 600 metres of snow. And then the last section is near the summit. And that's about 50 metres of snow. So when we were up there today, like you saw people like falling about and, you know, not being able to kind of hold their feet. All we can do is like make sure that you know what the best way to traverse the snow. And that kind of falls down to like just being sure of your step and taking it like slowly. And if you've got trekking poles, then we recommend them, but don't become dependent on the trekking poles. Just make sure you use them for balance. So we've got that. And if you're sensible and you make smart decisions around it, then you should be good. There's an old Scottish song, it's called "You'll Tack the High Road and I'll Tack the Low Road." When you're coming back down off the summit, if you take the low road, then you should be good. If you take the high road, it's a wee bit steep. So just make sure that you actually remember that stupid song, that stupid Scottish song, and then you can take the low road and then you'll be away. So that's really the summit. Just again, like on a day like this, you can see like Greg and myself have got shiny noses. That's a result of the high UV up there. And the temperature might be 16 degrees up there, but because of the UV, then you're looking at 30 plus degrees. So it can get incredibly like hot. And then on your way back down, you know, 16 degrees doesn't need to fall that much to kind of like become 10 degrees. So you just need to kind of keep your eye on that. And that's why we insist, absolutely insist on mandatory gear to go up the mountain. We'll be checking on that at Charlotte Pass. If you've not got any part of that mandatory gear, you won't be allowed to actually proceed. It is really that important. The mountain weather can change really drastically, really quickly, and that's why we insist on anybody that actually goes to the summit, you have your mandatory gear. Just another couple of things on the summit. The cairn, so the actual top of it, it's a piece of like cement that's actually like elaborated with these kind of bricks. That's what the cairn actually comprises of. Because like people climb it, and because of a couple of recent lightning bolts, it's actually disintegrating. So we really need to make sure that we adhere to the National Parks and Wildlife Service's guidelines, and we don't put ourselves under pressure. we really need to make sure that nobody actually climbs the cairn. Absolutely nobody. So get your photo taken beside it, but nobody climbs the cairn. And then the last thing, just to make sure that we don't like run afoul of the national parks, is the parking at Charlotte Pass. You might have to park down the hill from the actual start of the summit trail, but just make sure that you actually do that and you park safely and you park off the road. If you do park off the road, just make sure that, like, you know, there's a decent surface where you can actually get into that and get out of that, because it can be quite like steep on parts. So that's really that one. Really determined to make sure that we have a summit finish this year around. We hope the weather gods play in our favour and we can like put on the best of Kosci for everyone. Just one other thing is around the actual caravan park at Jindabyne is flooded. Parts of the path are actually inaccessible, but there's a mountain bike track as well. It's actually accessible, so we'll signpost it and make sure everybody's okay with it, but we'll basically be utilising that route to make sure that we can navigate the actual track around Lake Jindabyne. And what else, Greg?
With the sheer amount of water that's in the lake is obviously a higher level. When you come into the caravan park, normally the route will take you down along the water's edge, which is sort of like a camping area below the cabins. That's actually inaccessible with the water level this year. So you'll run through the caravan park, but at a higher level through the caravan park. So when you enter the caravan park, you'll see signposted arrows. There'll also be arrows on the ground, like flower arrows on the ground to direct you, which will take you up and out through the boom gate and up to the normal checkpoint. And Mickey, that's on a bitumen path and just goes past through the middle of the cabins. It's reasonably well marked. We marked that today, and we'll also check that prior to it. So you still proceed through the caravan park. It'll just be at a higher level than you normally are, rather than being down close to the water. And again, it's marked.
And just one other thing is like the actual checkpoint is hidden behind a sign for G'day parks. But if you come round to the right, then you'll actually notice the checkpoint 6 sign. So just be aware of that. Another couple of things really quickly. Cowbale Trail, Jane Trumper, crazy woman that she is, she managed to do Kosci to Coast. Can I say that properly? Kosci to Coast. She did that on Tuesday.
Unofficially.
Unofficially, yes. So she managed to actually run the 242 kilometres that comprises of that. And she managed to report back on a couple of things. One was Cowbale Trail. So national parks have actually been out removing trees that had actually blocked the route. But she actually noticed there was a few snakes on the route as well. So what we do is we recommend that runners and their pacers have a compression bandage should any snakes take a fancy to you. One other thing that came through was just a condition that was put on us recently by the police, and they're basically saying that at no part of the actual run are you allowed to wear headphones or earphones. So if everybody could ensure that they comply with that. And then the last thing I'll mention is just about your red flashing light. Last year we had a few people that actually turned up without their actually rear flashing light. All it really is like a bike light. So can you make sure that as of like the beach, so the very start of the race, that you've got like a bike light, it's rear, it's flashing, it's attached to your body, and it's in full working order. Again, that's a condition that's placed on us by the police.
I think that's probably the main things we've got to share from today. But parts of the route looking really green. The area through Dalgettys, really green, as you'd appreciate with all the rain we've had. There's a question on the chat about the high road and the low road, Mickey, about that being marked. No, that actually just reflects there's 2 traverse paths that have been made in the snow. It's reasonably stable to traverse across. However, some people, when they've attempted the summit, have gone by a high road, and some have gone by a low road. So it's not marked, but you'll see the paths that is there. And again, in dealing with national parks, they've recommended that there's no need for ropes or any elements like that. It's actually quite traversable as long as you just all take care. Question: does the strobe light have to be red? We want it to be red.
Strobe light. Yeah.
Sorry, we never caught that.
Oh, sorry. Guys, you basically said something about headphones after the snake compression bandage.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So the in our conditions from the New South Wales Police, they've made an additional condition for us, where they've directed that no runners should be wearing headphones, earphones,
Right,
during
gotcha.
the event. Now, we understand some people do that. There's a preference, there's time things and all those elements, but the direction is no. And what we always have to remember is, while as runners, we take a lot of care for ourselves, we also need to recognize, at times we are on back roads, through small areas where, although there's not much traffic, that traffic can be moving at very high speed. We need to hear that early, or they need to see us early, which is also why the mandatory vests are there as well.
Okay,
If I
thanks
could
for that.
Thank you.
Cheers, David. You need to spell your name right in future, mate.
Yeah, that's a great start to the support crew, isn't it? Thanks, fellas. Yeah.
We're doing we're doing this on the go, and we're just going to go accommodation after 12 hours of driving. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
No worries.
All right.
If I could just finish on a couple of things. One is when the actual support crew go along to Rocky Hall and they actually leave their runner at Cowbale Trail and do the U-turn back to New Buildings Road. If everyone could make sure that you just drive really safely, cautiously, bear in mind that there's runners coming along the road, give them ample consideration. Don't be chucking up dirt on them. Don't be speeding. Just make sure that you give due respect to those runners that are still coming along the road. And then the other thing is don't be speeding on that road that takes you to New Buildings Road, Mount Dara Road, and up to Cathcart General Store. It's a windy, absolute bugger of a road. We just drove it there. Just take care, and your runner is not going to get to Cathcart before you. So don't be speeding or stressing or anything like that. You'll have plenty of time to get from the cut-off to Cowbale Trail up to Cathcart. And then just one final thing is we've set up the WhatsApp group for the crew chiefs. We use that so that crew chiefs can actually report the progress of the runner, especially when they pass a checkpoint. So we need the runner's name, the bib number, the time that they cross the checkpoint and the actual checkpoint. And you use that WhatsApp channel to do that. If there's any kind of untoward with your runner, then you use that channel to report that as well. So all that's been set up. If you're not on there, if you're a crew chief and you're not on there, then please email Greg or myself or Kosci race director, or even text us, and we'll make sure that come tomorrow night at least, then everybody's actually set up appropriately in WhatsApp.
And other than that, I think we're pretty good. I think there's a couple of more technical questions about earphones and definitions of earphones. I think we just take a look at a blanket approach, unless it's someone who has a specific, I suppose, hearing impediment that requires a specific headphone or something along those lines. The direction is no. We don't want to get into technicalities about what is or isn't a headphone for the purposes of listening to music. The direction from the New South Wales Police is pretty clear. It's about listening to music so you're unable to hear the surround, or anything else so you're unable to hear the surrounds around you. So please just adhere to that. Thank you. And is there anything else, Mickey? I think.
Just a few questions coming through here. But do all runners and support crew need to wear high-vis vests the whole of the event?
So for support crews, yes, we want you to have the high-vis vest on. You are crossing the roads at all time. So please do have those. Okay.
And then for the runners, it's just the actual night time.
Yep. Okay.
The pacers need to wear their strobe light too. Yep.
Yes. Correct.
Very quickly, sunscreen and sunglasses for the summit if in daylight. Yeah, come on. Silly question. Just look at us.
Mm.
What if they're not in the phones, such as?
No, I'll address that.
All right,
It's around
okay,
technical.
cool.
No.
You could use a speaker instead of a headphone. Guys, be wary of the actual neighbourhoods that we're going through. So, you know, give them a bit of respect. Just enjoy the countryside because it's brilliant out there. It really is. And Mark, thanks for your offer to sing for anyone in the need. I'll be doing plenty of that as well. Mostly to actually encourage people to move along, not to kind of sit around and listen to my dulcet tones. So, guys, I think that covers it. We're absolutely delighted to put on this event for everybody. We actually, like we're just saying today, that we think the preparations went fantastic, and I think everything's actually teed up to like produce an absolutely brilliant race and event. So anticipating that will happen.
So with that, everybody, look, we'll also make this recording available. We look forward to seeing you at registration tomorrow. We do have a lot of new runners this year, which is fantastic. Some, Mickey and myself, haven't met some of you. We really look forward to seeing you tomorrow. For those yet to travel down, please travel safely tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you in Eden at registration tomorrow at the Seahorse Inn, and then on the beach at the high water mark on Friday morning. We're really excited, and we hope you are as well. And it'll be a great couple of days. So thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, fellas.
Cheers, guys. Safe driving.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you tomorrow.
See you, Pam.
Bye.